Hear from our next speaker about the solution approach of Digit for ICT vendor lock-in. And we welcome Raúl Abril, who already gave us a presentation, a video presentation about SciMaps on Monday, which you may remember. So Raúl is a project officer at the European Commission, Director General Digit. Good afternoon, Raúl.
Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for inviting me to this meeting.
Please, over to you.
Okay, I hope I am sharing. Basically, we wanted to talk about a pillar that we have in our solutions and specifications in relation to a problem which is basically ICT vendor lock-in. So let me move to the next slide. So what is the problem stemming in essence? In essence is basically that one organization, and in our case, a public administration, is captive by the specific technology and/or vendor. And this is recognized as a problem. So in order to, why this is a problem, in essence, because this is a torpedo against interoperability. So we promote in the European Union interoperability and as much as possible open standards. And then in this sense, we really support that interoperable digital public service should be as such, should be interoperable. By the way, I really would need to put over the table here that we have Interoperable Europe Act proposal that is under the ordinary legislative process in this moment, under discussions with in the European institutions, and expectedly we will have this year a new regulation that talks about exactly this how to have interoperable digital public services. So what is our approach to address this problem statement? In essence, it has three pillars. One is a method that is, the name is CAMSS. The second is a set of standards, specifications that they have been assessed using CAMSS. And then we have a library that the brand is ELIS of basically standards and specifications. Those are the three pillars that I will now go through. CAMSS stands for Common Assessment Method for Standards and Specifications, and is a tool and that allows in a self-service way to assess a standard or a specification, in essence, to assess the fit for purpose. And one of those purposes is the interoperability. And in this case, we have different scenarios, but the scenario that we are talking about now is the European Interoperability Framework. So this is the purpose. So what CAMSS does is to take a candidate standard or specification and then to assess how well or how bad is supporting interoperability. And then the benefits of CAMSS, as you can see in the slides, in essence are four. One is quality, because it's a quality assurance tool in the sense that it allows you, an organization, to make an assessment when comparing alternative specifications. For example, in your terms of reference in a public procurement, you have a tool that will allow to basically make the assessment for each of the candidate standards of specifications, and then you can compare apples with apples. The second benefit that you can get is that you don't need to reinvent the wheel, because you will be able to reuse assessments that they are already published and they are publicly accessible to anyone. Second, you will have savings from time and savings from money, because you have an instrument that is available for new standards or specifications. But before that, you are also saving time just checking if this assessment has been already performed. And finally, compliance, because as you can expect, basically the construction of the tool has been done with the state of the art in terms of interoperability. So this is in relation the CAMSS, the first pillar, how it looks like. In the left-hand side of this slide, you can see basically a look and feel of this questionnaire, because as I said, it's a self-service instrument. It's basically done and publicly accessible based on questions. And then you have the link at the bottom of the slide. And then when you press the button, and once you have done all the questions, then you get two reports. One is a summary, and then a detailed report. The summary is in the right-hand side that follows the traditional maturity look and feel of a report. You have different stages that could be sustainable, seamless, essential, etc. And then, and depending on the category of the items, we mean by item questions in the questionnaire, then you get a score. This is the score that you get. And then you have another column that is the strength. The strength is a way to make your life difficult, just to very, very professional, just to express what are the percentage of the items that they have been responded. Okay, so in this case, as you can see, for this is just an illustration, the Dublin Core Ontology, you can see that it has a score of 78, and then 96% of the items that they were responded. This is this was just the summary, and then now I am addressing the second pillar. In the second pillar is basically a library of the assessments that are published, and they are basically you can find that in this link that you can see in the slide, assessment library. And then you have all the assessments that so far they have been performed. Many of them they have been performed by our team, the CAMSS team, but not all. There you can find member states that they have been doing, or other organizations, assessments, and then they submit to us to be published. And then we basically, after some supervision, we publish that. And the assessments, as you can see in the column download, are downloadable. So you have the summary of the assessment scores and the strength. So this is something to be reused. And then the last pillar of the three components that I share with you, colleagues, is the EIRA Library of Interoperability Specifications, ELIS. Again, EIRA Library of Interoperability Specifications. This is a library that is also accessible, that is collecting all the specifications and standards that we have identified as of interest and to be considered, for example, in the design of a digital public services. Those standards of specifications, in order to be eligible to be in ELIS, you have in the left hand side of the slide, they need to be over 75% in the assessment. So if we have a standard or a specification that is lower than this cutoff, we consider not interoperable, and then it's not in ELIS. Now in ELIS, this is as you can imagine, it requires a lot of time, some effort, and then so far in the right-hand side you have some scorecard of ELIS. We have 337 specifications in ELIS, but only assessed with CAMSS, we have 68. So as you can see, we have many more input candidates that they need to be assessed. And then in terms of the average score in terms of these assessed interoperability specifications, they are 86, and all of them over 75, because otherwise they will not be there. So we have an average of 86%, but all of them without exception over 75, and the strength is pretty good. Is 86% is the average number of items that they have been responded, and that's it. So this is my presentation in 10 minutes.
Perfect timing. Thank you very much, Raúl. Thank you. And I do have a couple of questions for you. The first one is about how far are the solutions developed by Digit reusable or usable by other parties intern to the EU, or internally in the EU institutions, or externally?
Very much. In essence, all our solutions are published in Join Up and are reusable, no? And they cover different type of, I would like to say a comment here. I would like to differentiate between solutions and specifications, okay? So we have pretty mature solutions like CAMSS, but older, like also testbed, etc. In maps, CCAT, GCAT, etc. All of them are accessible, reusable, and reused, okay? And they are done both internally and externally.
Excellent. And do you foresee further evolutions or solutions in the future in line with the latest interoperability legislation?
Yes, very much. But this is something that the Europe will decide how. Okay, so we are in a democratic environment, and this has consequences. And one of the consequences is in this text. There is a concept of the Interoperable Europe board. Okay, so is right now under discussion the competencies and the role that this board will have. Mm-hmm. Okay, so ranging from different perspectives and different opinions, and this is now under discussion. So I cannot say how it will end it up, but whatever it will be, number one, way better than where we are, and number two, it will be the best that we have in the world. So it will be a reference, because there is nothing so far, literally, about that in the world.
Thanks very much. So definitely something to look forward to. Thank you very much for your insight into the work of Digit and for joining us this afternoon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thanks for inviting me.